Morning campus, it's your long lost Uncle Jack here. I'm going to share with you some rock and roll history today by request of you Motley Crue and Mick Mars fans. I'm going to play for you the very first studio recording of one Mr. Mick Mars when he was in my band Whitehorse from 1975. But some of you have also asked, whatever happened to my upside down flying drum machine? Well, I've still got it. It's sitting over here, rusted away on the side of the house. It's right. Can you see it? Oh, there it is, right there. The world's first flying drum machine. And the flying drum seat right over there. It's a dragster bucket seat with a seatbelt used to hold me in. And over here on this side of the yard is the world's first flying drum platform. All right, so here it is right there, the world's first flying drum platform, man. A piece of rock and roll history just rotting away in the side of my house. And believe it or not, Mick Mars started his career being my roadie because we set that thing up 13 times at different gigs. We had to take it out of the truck, bring it into the gig, set it up, play the gig, tear it down, put it back in the truck. And that thing weighs about 500 pounds, not even including the rest of the frame and stuff. And Mick and I weren't that muscle bound, but we got the job done, and Mick never charged me a dime to set it up because I let him live in my house for free. And so we always figured we kind of even on that account. But you know, I'm going to play for you now the first studio recording of Mick Mars in Whitehorse, recorded in January of 1975. And the reason that Mick Mars and Motley Crue exists today is because the record company was trying to make our music in Whitehorse to be a pop band. They wanted us to be a teeny bopper bubblegum pop band, so you're going to hear it in the song that they wouldn't let me mash the drums. They wanted me to play bouncy drums. They didn't put much Mick Mars in the song, and it's a cute song written by David and Kenny and the band, but Mick and I looked at each other and we said, we don't want to do this, man. We want to be like Deep Purple or Led Zeppelin or Motley Crue, you know? That's what we want to do. We want to be heavy metal rockers. So when you hear this song, you're going to hear, well, that doesn't sound much like, you know, like Mick Mars to me. But hey, Mick Mars is the rock star. I'm not a rock star. I'm 70 years old, never going to be a rock star. But I put myself in the thing, you know, because I did the fake drum trick to keep it from being too boring. All I got is like a dozen pictures of Mick Mars and the music to work with and myself. So forgive me if there's too much me in there. I know I'm nobody, but what the heck. This is Mick Mars in 1975 in a song called My Marie. That's rock and roll history right there, man. Motley Rock Stories, Addendum Chapter, Rock and Roll History. A tribute to Whitehorse, Kenny and David who wrote that song. So consider this. Whitehorse was one of the top LA bands before Mick Mars came on board. It might be natural to assume that Mick Mars made Whitehorse, but actually Whitehorse made Mick Mars. Before Mick Mars came in the band, Whitehorse was already an established LA band and had already done 2 tours. We had opened shows for Dr. John, JoJo Gunn, Cold Blood, Honk, Ballin' Jack, and a number of these bands we just blew off the stage because they couldn't match our energy, even without Mick Mars. Whitehorse had 5 lead singers, 2 lead guitar players, 2 guys that could play drums, 3 guys that could play keyboards. All 5 guys could write music. Then we kicked our leader and lead guitar player and lead singer out and replaced him with Mick Mars and added a flying drum act. But we were a rock and roll band. We weren't a pop band. We weren't interested in making top 40 records. We wanted to be Motley Crue. We wanted to be Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple. And when our record company encouraged us to put out pop 40 type songs, Mick Mars and Jack Valentine looked at each other and we kind of thought, you know what? We don't think our heart is into making music just to make money. We want to make rock and roll. But the direction change is what did Whitehorse in. As much as everyone in the band loved rock and roll, and heavy metal rock and roll at that, if you listen to some of the other songs I put up on YouTube, mainly the 3 other guys in the band were in with the record company. They went to all the record company meetings. It was like Mick and I never wound up being involved in any of the decision making. We were the 2 youngest guys in the band and kind of shut out of all the organization and directions. Otherwise they'd realized there was a problem. There's 2 of us guys that aren't included in your meetings, 2 of us guys that aren't going to meet with the producers. And there's the main 2 guys in the band that everybody thinks is, you know, you got your flying drummer and your Mick Mars. Maybe you should listen to these 2 guys. Because when the 2 of us left, that band pretty much fizzled out. And what would have happened in rock and roll history if Mick Mars and Jack Valentine stayed in Whitehorse, became a successful pop band, maybe made as much money as Kool and the Gang, then your Motley Crue might not have ever existed. Or if they did, Mick Mars would have not been the lead guitar player and the band wouldn't have been called Motley Crue and they wouldn't have had an upside down drummer, because all 3 of those things came directly from Whitehorse. How history could have changed if Whitehorse didn't break up. But we'll never know. And I'm not saying Whitehorse was a great band. You don't become a great band till you go out on a world tour and you really get a chance to just woodshed by playing every night in a different city. We were a good band, on the verge of being great. Even with Mick Mars, we still had 4 lead singers, 3 guys that could play keyboards, 2 guys that could play drums, 2 lead guitar players, another rhythm guitar player, the world's first flying drummer, and Mick Mars himself. How could that band miss? So if you can imagine after spending 10 years perfecting your craft, trying to be in a successful heavy metal rock band, to wind up evolving into a top 40 bubblegum group, well, I was about ready to blow this popsicle stand, give up on my ideas of being a rock musician. So I found something else to do. And Mick, he stayed at it and proved rock and roll will never die. So in January of 1975, Whitehorse was in Sound City recording studios, recording Whitehorse originals, My Marie, Places to Go, Thinking About You, Sleaze Queen, Run Into the Dark, Told You Once Before. And right next door was a band called Fleetwood Mac, recording Rhiannon. Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks had finished their Buckingham-Nicks recording at Sound City. When the Sound City management heard that Fleetwood Mac was looking for a new lead guitar player and suggested Lindsey Buckingham. The only problem was Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks were inseparable, and for Fleetwood Mac to pick up Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks would have to come along. And that's just what happened, and the rest is history, as the new Fleetwood Mac was born and was recording Rhiannon right next door at the very time Whitehorse was in that studio. Fleetwood Mac was literally living in the studio at that time. Now, My Marie was a song about 2 of Whitehorse's biggest fans, Marie and Nancy, these 2 sisters. Marie was after Kenny and Nancy was after me. And I'm not sure why, but neither of those relationships got anywhere, but Kenny did write a song about Marie, and which was a cool top 40 pop song, but there's not much Mick Mars in it. And they didn't want me playing really strong, powerful drums. They wanted me to make it light and bouncy. So it came out the way the record company wanted, not the way Mick Mars and Jack Valentine wanted. And we could see the writing on the wall. We weren't going to be happy with the record company's ideas of making us a light pop band, or even worse, a disco band, which was coming down the road. So Mick and I started trying to figure a way to get out of there. We were under a record contract, and fortunately or unfortunately for me, I wound up breaking my leg and couldn't play anymore and had to bow out. And of course the record company wanted to sue us and make me finish the record once I got my cast off, but I didn't have anything for them to sue me over, so I just decided not to come back to music and
Mick kicked around for a little while with Whitehorse to pick up a few more club bucks before he took off with Kenny for Alaska and Vendetta, because they were more of a Motley Crue style rock and roll band. But of course disco came in and shut down most of the rock and roll clubs in LA, so I'm not sure how Mick survived until he wound up finding Vince, Nicky, and Tommy, and then the rest is history. And see, rock and roll wasn't dead after all. Because Mick Mars and Motley Crue and Eddie Van Halen just ruled LA for a couple years before they wound up hitting the big time. It all worked out for the best. I've had a great life. I got no regrets. I got no complaints. There is a Motley Crue. Mick Mars has become a sensation, and rock and roll history is better off for it.
Whitehorse, ladies and gentlemen, Whitehorse.
Thanks for listening.